Dire team ban. Dire team ban. Dire team pick.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the
10 seconds.
Let's hope that extend did something to refresh their minds and hands, because that game 1 was brutal. NP slaughtered them, wasn't even close. Fortunately for them, it's a best of 3. We'll see what happens. I'm Mike Loris, going to be joined by FireDota for this second game, and dude, NP's opening Visage first, pretty good.
Yeah, you don't normally want to show your card 2 times in a row. Then that gives the enemy team to counter at different times, and then maybe they also want to get a little bit more practice in trying to play a different style. That last game, we already know how great AUI is, and we also know how great Mojo is on Clockwork, but sometimes those aren't the best heroes when the enemy team kind of switches things up. So this time around, NP gonna be getting the Warlock, solidifying a little bit of their team fight. It's gonna be super strong. And then now Shadow Shaman is a very interesting pick here. It gives you... This hero's been buffed and buffed and buffed. I really do think that... Whoa. Okay. 2 supports in the first go. That's odd.
Not exactly the most aggressive either. Like, I think you can probably get away with picking up your first 2 supports if it's a Monkey King, you know, wink wink nudge nudge, still in the pool, and a CM or something like that. Like, you know, they cover all your bases. And that's not to say that these 2 supports are super imbalanced. You have nice defensive support in that Dazzle, so if they are going to pick up someone like a Terrorblade, then he'll have ample protection. Shadow Shaman is maybe not quite as aggressive as a Treant or a Monkey King, but can still sometimes get into those positions at, you know, maybe a little bit of a later stage. Being able to push towers off of a support hero is something that you don't really get from that many supports that are picked up nowadays. I don't really hate this opening just in a vacuum, but I feel like there are just so many more powerful ways that you can draft your first 2 picks. NP now, knowing that Shadow Shaman is most likely going to be the vast majority of Fire's CC, you're going to be happy picking up an Ember Spirit.
Yeah, the thing is, when you show your 2 supports here like this, it's so weird just to have it like this. I could understand if it's Shadow Shaman plus Ricky, Shadow Shaman plus a Roamer, but Shadow Shaman plus Dazzle,
5 seconds remaining.
it basically shows you don't have the greatest amount of lockdown. Sure, Shadow Shaman has great lockdown, but he also needs to get up to like a Blink Dagger or something, because his mobility early on, he's a very slow hero. He also relies heavily on mana boots because all of his spells are mana intensive. He doesn't have like I said, the best mobility. Dazzle either. Shadow Shaman pressures towers really well and whatnot, but it doesn't really, like I said, doesn't really get kills until he has a Blink Dagger, or if they maybe have a better initiator. So that's why Team MP kind of want this split pusher that can't be punished by the supports too often. So now Team NP gonna be banning out Spectre. I guess they're thinking the minus armor coming out, plus the push to towers. Then the spec haunt is gonna be coming in. And then FireDota, they don't want to give Team NP any chances to get a Roche lineup.
5 seconds remaining.
Since they're on the dire side, Ursa helps solidify that. Very strong. And then
reserve time.
I'll be surprised if Team NP leave in maybe Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit is a counter to Ember. And then FireDota, we saw the problem last time. They didn't have an initiator. So what better way to sure up your initiation by having a Storm Spirit? Also matches up really well with Ember at all stages of the game.
They didn't really have a chance to get any sort of initiation going in the last game, but they also, in the very early stages, they couldn't really be proactive at all, just not joining up their 2 red-headed supports, and that just means that they're going to kind of just take all the beatings that NP have from their rotations without Fire offering any of their own. And because you said Shadow Shaman Dazzle don't really play off one another all that well, it does seem like that's a very similar situation might happen right now, where their supports just aren't able to make a lot of action, and therefore Fire's lanes are going to be really stagnant. I do feel like MP going for this mobile hero and this Ember Spirit, and then perhaps getting a little bit more of one of those aggressive 4-position roamers in the next stage will make it so that FireDota have to make rotations. And with these slow, kind of janky heroes, that's really gonna, put a tax on their TP scrolls, the amount of experience they can gain. And if you're not gaining experience as a Dazzle or Shadow Shaman, then what the hell are you doing with your life? FireDota are gonna grab a Legion Commander, really good hero to have with the Dazzle, so that combo is pretty sick. But still, I'm concerned that these supports in Fire are just not going to be able to do enough. If any lane goes awry, then it will stay bad.
Yeah, and then also we got a lot of information from last game where you saw Fire, they picked up Terrorblade. Terrorblade synergizes super well with Dazzle because you get the Grave and the Sunder off. And Team MP, they kind of knew it, that they might be going along that route. So what they did is they kind of picked up a Warlock. Fatal Bonds crushes the illusions, and then you also have Ember who can crush a Terrorblade a lot of the time, as long as he gets pretty big on his items and stuff. So they kind of wanted to make sure they shut down that pick a little bit with their heroes. And then they also went back here for Riki. This is a very big problem for Shadow Shaman. As we talked about, he's very slow, kind of immobile. And then once you put a cloud on top of him, he's not going to go anywhere, especially when Riki's on top of him. And there's also the cloud for the Legion Commander duel. Now that's going to be scary during team fights, because if you start missing a lot, then Legion Commander's not going to win the duel. Then she's not going to scale well. She also needs the BKB at times. And then as we talked about, Riki is a really good scouting hero. I think NP, they're going to pick probably Darkseer for Mojo this game. I think Darkseer synergizes really well with Riki, and then really well with their comp. And I think MSS is really a prolific offlaner, especially with Darkseer, and I think he likes coupling it with Riki, but we'll have to see. Whereas Fire, what route do they want to go? They probably should pick their mid here. I still think they should go Storm. I think this is still a good Storm Serie game, but they might want to save their last pick for mid. So maybe they want to go a Juggernaut or something. It's kind of safe and standard, and it's kind of like TC, what he likes to play at times.
The hero that works really well off of the Shadow Shaman. If you're able to land Shackle or Hex, then even if you're going up against a Darkseer, you should be able to get the kill. Clinks, only a different way to go from Fire. This is actually going to give them quite a bit of power in their rotations. You're most likely not going to see the Clinks in the map once he hits a level 10 mark or something like that. Between Clinks roaming around, the Shadow Shaman as a support threat to push the towers, Fire will be able to keep NP, at least in theory, on their toes. It is the best they could hope for, really, going up against the Riki as that scout, the Ember Spirit as, I guess you can call him a pseudo scout as well, given how mobile he is. He'd just be everywhere at once. I don't mind this at all from Fire. It is another glass cannon hero, or is a glass cannon hero, so that the Dazzle has another opportunity to help him out a lot. It's really powerful, but it's making this Riki pick pretty insane. Smokescreen on Clinks and Legion Commander, absolutely backbreaking. As long as NP have some sort of initiation, they should be just fine to deal with this.
Yeah, they're thinking probably, do they want to go Axe? Axe is a good counter to Dazzle in the later game for the Grave. Axe is very good against Clinks too, especially when he's just wailing on you, but they're going to go a completely different route. Earthshaker offlane. I recently finished a guide. Go check that out at Pavagna, guys. Easy sellout there. Easiest sellout of my life. I talked about the Earthshaker offlane and how powerful it is. And this is really good. I really love this hero, especially against Legion Commander. Legion Commander, you require to have this duel. And then normally you don't have Legion Commanders go for the BKB anymore. Like after a blink or something. So if he uses his duel, then you just fissure, and then you basically wasted half the duel duration. And then you're not doing any damage. And then you're just pumping out a lot. Also, you're going to get a lot from the offlane if you get off some good fissure blocks. You can set up some good team fights.
10 seconds remaining.
Hero does have limitations at times. If you don't get that fast blink dagger, then your initiation, it feels horrible at times. And then you're kind of playing on the back foot. You're losing a lot of towers and momentum. And the Clinks can just sometimes go into the back lines. But the counters to Earthshaker are kind of like that Spectre that's been banned out, Storm, in a sense, where you can get into the back lines always and try to
10 seconds
find
remaining.
the Earthshaker and then silence them up. Another quick thing that I wanted to note
5
is Clinks,
seconds
he
remaining.
goes for Orchid sometimes, and then in this game, when there's an Ember Spirit that's rotating around the map farming, normally you want to go for that too.
Dire team pick.
So there's like 2 ways to build Clinks. Orchid might be the preferred choice first instead of the Desolator that has been the norm. But Team NP, they need a carry hero. What do you think it is? What does NP want to play? Actually, it could be mid. Could be mid.
10
They could pick
seconds
TA
remaining.
or something along those lines, and it wouldn't be bad.
5
Both
seconds
sides,
remaining.
though, can still be looking for a mid lane hero, and TA definitely is one of those heroes that
Reserve
is susceptible to just being, running up against some of the bad matchups. I guess Ember Spirit is, one of those matchups sometimes, and it's on their team, so it's not that big of a deal. I'm not a huge fan of Earthshaker. I'm pretty well on record on that. Just some awkward laning stages, especially up against the Clinks, and you may just fall too far behind. But as long as he's able to play his range game, as long as he's able to keep an Observer Ward up, and mostly just stay away from the Shadow Shaman, then there's not much that a Clinks or Dazzle can really do to a Shaker as long as they have vision.
Fire needs to pick Jug mid. Jug
10
mid
seconds
crushes
remaining.
Ember. Jug goes into the Fusel Blade. Dang it. They went a different route. They went for the ugly combination as their last 2. I mean, normally you want to go... So it's kind of like anti... This is actually pretty funny. 2 heroes that benefit from not having their mana drain. It's kind of like Wraith King as well as Medusa. So you could just think of like the mana bros and girls, I guess, trying to survive because you got the shield, and then if you don't have mana on Wraith King, then you can't survive. So normally the ways you counter them is by going for these diffusals or anti-majors or something, but instead they're kind of content, I guess, with Fire just having another counter to Wraith King being another
10
tanky hero that's
seconds
almost
remaining.
impossible to die. It's interesting.
5 seconds remaining.
Ember Spirit isn't really, at least nowadays, not really going to put out steady, sustained damage, and that's kind of the damage you want. You don't really want just one huge payload to kill off Medusa. It's usually you just won't have enough damage for that with her mana shield up. So Wraith King being melee up against the Medusa may struggle to kill her off as well. Plus you got heals coming out from the Legion and the Dazzle, Brave mixed in there as well. So I'm liking this Medusa pick. If she's able to get off the ground, it is always going to be a little bit of a struggle. But looking at NP, though Shaker in the off lane isn't really like the most hard carry of an off lane hero, let's say, is pretty active in the early stages. Wraith King and Ember to pressure a Medusa super early on doesn't really seem like they can really get it to the degree where this Medusa is going to be a non-factor. So I want to say that JO's farm on the Medusa is going to be, at worst, mediocre, and should be kind of like medium-high.
Yeah, Medusa can do fine against Ember mid. Can definitely drain the Ember's mana. You can do fine.
Prepare for battle.
You shouldn't really die with the Ricky roaming. Maybe if they help her with the Sentry Ward being placed down. Hopefully Jo is able to survive. Need to be a little bit careful though. Once Ember does get level 5, level 6, then Jo can definitely go down pretty easily, especially with their rotation coming in for Ricky. That's going to be the tricky part, whereas Medusa should win out earlier on. But we'll have to see how things go, how rotations happen. Because as we know, Fire, they kind of like having... It feels like not a roaming hero and just trying to run dual lanes, it feels. This is their standard. They're going to be running dual lane top potentially maybe with the Dazzle and Legion, and then dual lane bottom with maybe a Rasta plus Kings or something.
Dazzle, or just Legion, even with or without the Dazzle, should have a decent time up against a Wraith King in a vacuum, but of course it's not going to be that vacuum. Ricky will be more than happy to wander up there. Of course, Warlock is going to be there. Wraith King's sustain game going to be extremely high. AUI and Pylai die, actually. Setting up for a little bit of extra chip damage on Jo. And the play is, as Medusa, get the bounty rune, get into mid lane, no big deal whatsoever, but he has some backup in the area, but how much damage is he going to take here? There's an Orb of Venom. Medusa hasn't skilled anything just yet. Already down to half HP. My god, that's a lot of damage. Brax is here with maybe a heal. We'll have to spend it. And AUI is going to be on the run now. Another heal goes out from Fluff. They're not going to kill Jo, but man, they mess him up and barely expend anything.
This was seen a lot at the majors. A lot. I don't know how many times, but teams got accustomed to it, and they would always camp one of the supports up there in this hill. Draw a circle here, over here, and then instead of blocking at times, because it was getting so accustomed for the dire side just to rotate in supports and cause havoc where they're just running back.
That was a bird.
So at least with Brax leveling up this press the attack, that means Highlight Die shouldn't be able. Yeah, he can't really use his Shadow Ward, else he's just gonna get purged off. But try harder.
Mid lane is brutal. They forced Jo back, so instead of going for a block, he well, he didn't get the block at all. Fada had complete control of that, got a free complete wave, and Jo missed the vast majority of his first wave. And now the sentry drops, and it is in favor of NP, so Jo is working blind up against a Riki. I mean, yeah, in a vacuum, Medusa has a pretty good matchup up against an Ember Spirit, but in a situation like this, where you're already a wave behind, you have to deal with this 2v1, Fada can't just hit the drop of a hat, just turn on the shield, start running at Jo, and Jo will take a truckload of damage, or just have AUI do this, poke at him 24/7. Not much that Medusa can do about this, and this is where the dual lane situation for Fire really starts hurting. Who's going to solve this? Whitebeard may rotate over towards mid, but I think they just want his sentry ward, and if that isn't going to stick, then AUI is going to just be an absolute menace in mid. Oh man, that sucks. Well, they're blind mid again.
Yeah, AUI still has the second one, and this is the problem. Like, in this game, Fire are... It's just the same story as last game, where the enemy team, they know where to rotate early on, and they know what to do, and they're just punishing them. So it's just being outclassed right now in its early game stage.
Well, outside of this mess of... Well, actually, they do have a sentry, and it's going to stick. Shackles will come in time, saving Jo from any additional damage, but they're just going to say, screw you, Shadow Shaman. Shield is still up, and Whitebeard has no magic damage to burn through it. He will slow roast, giving Fada the first blood. Tower shots will do quite a bit to the Ember, but he has a salve. Will get away, and he'll be just fine. And, well, in the midst of that, also AUI placed his sentry, got rid of the enemies, so there is one more sentry here for Whitebeard. If this one doesn't stick, okay, it will. That could have just been it for the mid lane, like, completely done. Over in the side lanes, for the Fire side, things are going pretty well. This Legion Commander has a great matchup up against the Wraith King in the early stages. Likewise, in the bottom lane, Clinks is going to thrash Earthshaker. So, you know, it's not all that bad for Fire, all things considered.
There's a lot of hope for Fire, at least in the off lane and the safe lane. While Envy getting very low, gonna have to force to heal. So at least the two top leaders are kind of like the Legion and the Clinks, so they're kind of getting a lot done in both of their other lanes. Problem is, Ember Spirit, he can easily rotate to turn the tides of this, and whereas Medusa can't rotate at all, and then Clinks doesn't start rotating until he's like level 6, and then maybe 7, and then sometimes he just wants to farm too. So the roaming potential right now for Fluff, or not Fluff, I want to say Fluff, for Fire, is just, it's not there. So this is going to be a little bit scary.
MSS is messing with Whitebeard. He only really wanted that bounty rune, but he has boots and Shadow Shaman. He has Windlace. That's not quite good enough. Luckily for him, there's no man on the Shaker, but oh, another enchant totem. Smack him in the face. We saw that exact same thing last game, except it was a clockwork, so it actually made sense. Earthshaker's not supposed to get those free early game kills like that.
It's because Rasta was forced to rotate middle and spent like 300 gold on sentries, where he could have had boots. He also could have pulled more, and he could have potentially killed Earthshaker bottom lane, but they made sure that they use a lot of resources to help out the Medusa mid instead of just sacking her. So at the end of the day, they did give Jo a bit of a better time, but Rasta is going to suffer, and Rasta is one of those heroes when you start getting behind in the levels early, you don't have boots. We talked about how slow this hero is already. You're just going to be free food. As we saw last game, Lena was like 0-10 at the end of the game. This is gearing up to be potentially one of those games for Shadow Shaman. He's already 0-2.
They're going to pick a fight with the Shaker once again. Enchant Totem lands. And in the trees, this Clinks is a lot weaker because Strafe is just burned in time right now. Another Enchant Totem. Vision will be interrupted. The smoke screen just out of range for Whitebeard, but still a lot of damage being done to the Clinks. And Whitebeard now forced to pick a fight with AUI. Backup is coming in from Fluff. Right-click damage onto the Riki. Not quite good enough. They are without vision right now. Where's the true sight? There is none. They don't have any blind AoE either, so AUI can just walk out of here. He'll TP out in style, of course. There will be no casualties over in bottom, and Fire make a rotation and gonna get them nothing. And at this point, they really can't afford those TPs. Like, it's not really that expensive nowadays because it's been constantly reduced in cost, but these heroes just aren't getting anything. And I mean, you look at Riki, he doesn't really have like the largest kill death impact, so you know, you may think, oh, you know, he's not doing that much, but it's all funneling into his allies. He's getting his allies ridiculously far ahead, and may have another opportunity over in bottom. Ember Spirit's looking for a support. I don't think he was spotted by the sentry, although he might have been.
Ember just wasted a ton of time.
Yeah.
Ton of time. He wasted about a good 1.5 minutes, and that's crucial for Jo to kind of feel protected in the mid lane and just feel safe. So that was a pretty cute play right there from AUI, if you're able to see it in the mid lane. So what he did is he used Blink Strike and didn't right click, and that showed that there was a the Sentry Ward was still placed mid because the creeps aggroed to him, and he didn't break. So that was a very cool trick for people to understand.
Wow, that completely went over my head. I was gonna say he used Blink Strike, forced the TP out with no intention of going for reduce the kill whatsoever, but checking for invis there, that's some pretty next level stuff.
Don't worry, I got everybody. I'm here.
Please
I'm
teach
here
us.
for the next level.
Teach us, Senpai, in your ways of detection.
Well, detection. Well, they have a ward behind this tower, and then they just saw them smoke there. So I wonder, and they smoked in 2 different directions. Fluff and Stuff went top, and then Whitebeard went bottom. They did get a ward down at least, but both these supports don't even have boots right now on the side of Fire.
You do have to, like,
Envy getting bullied top lane.
Not level 6 just yet, is almost there, but with the Wraith Fire Blast, will drive Brax out. He'll be just fine. He'll take a little bit of a beating, but they're looking at this bottom lane instead. AUI have Dust now, so killing off the Clinks is feasible. But this is going to require TC to really mess up his positioning. Actually, we're not done top lane just yet. Brax went in pretty deep. EE with the heal from Shadow Word. And once again, drive this Legion out. Fluff and Stuff can't really do that much to help out. We have no casualties up towards top, but now we have a TP towards bottom. TC hit with the fissure. The shackle onto Riki is giving that TC gets some space. Dust goes out, and the Clinks is going to take an absolute beating here. He does have the Grave, but he's not doing enough damage. They're going to change their direction into Whitebeard instead. They still end up getting the kill on the Clinks. They're going to get Fluff and Stuff. Whitebeard is not fast enough to escape. He'll run back into the cow. Echo slammed into the dirt. A 3-for-0 for NP. They're all going to get out scot-free. Again, it's farm for Jo, but it just seems like Medusa getting a piddly amount of farm is not worth the 3 deaths.
Also, this is a very interesting build for the Earthshaker here. He went for treads, so he's going to be gearing up for a right-click build on Earthshaker. He'll probably go Blink into Shadowblade or something along those lines. It's going to be very interesting to watch Mojo's progression. So they're going to have basically effectively a tri-core, feels like, scaling into this late game. I mean, they might not even need to go to late game the way that it's snowballing. 0 and 5 already in 9 minutes. Checking out the support's life again. Don't worry, Whitebeard almost got his boots. We got that progress update. Fluff and Stuff. Still needing about 200 gold. We should get there eventually. 250.
Meanwhile, in Pylai Dailand, he's had boots for quite a while. Must be nice. This is a, you know, kind of pathetic net worth on these supports, but I mean, such is life when you decide to run dual lanes, and again, you can't really get that much action as these Fire supports. They're doing their best defensively just to show up and make the enemies scared, but now Fluff and Stuff deciding to farm towards bottom, has a Grave for himself, so he'll buy himself a couple of seconds, but no one's coming to help, so it's just his creation, right? I think that's the technical term. He's still going to go down, giving FOD a little more acceleration there.
That's kind of like a free kill that you shouldn't be giving over. You already know that the enemy team's been pressuring this bottom lane a lot, and there's you either have to send 3 or 4 heroes bottom, or you just
Radiant's
don't
bottom
even
tower
bother.
has fallen.
But at the same time, it's like, where do I go as a Dazzle this game to even do anything? TC's top. They're going on Wraith King. He's gonna level it up now.
Double TPs. The slow from the reincarnation, Whitebeard is gonna get left behind. That reincarnation cooldown is long, but is it worth it? I'm not really sure about that. That's exactly what Wraith King's ultimate is supposed to be for, just to try to bait you in, and that's slow. Absolutely crippling for a hero that, hey, at least has boots now, and the wind lay, so Shadow Shaman next time might be able to get out of there. But still, big fat goose egg for the Fire side. Maybe this Clinks, now that he's level 8, can get some action, but it does seem like the only hero that he could actually hunt down and realistically kill is the Warlock.
So far this game, and about the span of 4 or 5 minutes.
Oh, Jo.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to cut you off because Jo is walled off and he's in some gravy. Well, he will get his ultimate off, but MSS still stuns him up a little bit. He'll take a courier. No, can't even get that. That's just brutal, man.
So the thing I was gonna say is that was gonna be 3 kill participations for Ember in the first like 4 minutes, but it's actually Ember's gonna go down here, and this is why you kind of want to get rid of the ulti on Wraith King. You can still set up for him later on. So nice ward placement showing that. But back to the point is, Ember Spirit had set up 3 kills, and then he set up 4 kills, whereas the Deuces set up 0. You can just see the tempo controlling that Fada's had on this game, and how much pressure they've applied. They've gotten the bot tower because of the Ember Spirit, and they've also gotten 3 successful ganks and kills because of Fada. So and that's why he's hovering on the most on the net worth right now. He's about 2k up on the Medusa. Medusa can't even like rotate or anything, it feels. And then she just dies there too, to the rotations of Ember, as well as the MSS Earthshaker. This game is just looking a little bit too gruesome, but they did finally get a kill on the board. They brought down Envy. He still doesn't have the ulti to work with, so I wonder if they can still kill him again here. Oh, they set a track for bottom.
They're gonna have to go pretty deep. Fluff and stuff. Dumped by AUY. Quickly realizes, hey, there's a Clinks here, so yeah, that was kind of bold from AUY to go for that in the first place. Gonna give a free one over to the Fire side. Not really, a primo kill here for Fire. But at this point, beggars can't be choosers. Clinks especially needs that extra acceleration. He is working with the most in the way of assets right now. Jo, though, walled off. Double damage rune is there from Fada. They are going to drop the Serpent Wards, grab him in with the Shackles, but the Chaotic Offering is going to break all of that up. Let Fada chop down Whitebeard. Now chasing after Fluff and Stuff. Jo will escape down river, but there is a Riki behind him. Fluff and Stuff still roasting to the Ember. Will be taken down. Can they kill off Jo? Actually, it was the Riki chasing him. Never mind, so not going to do much there. MSS is in the area as well, but that Serpent Wards being consumed now by Pile Die. His tower should be falling as well. I mean, they have Shadow Shaman Serpent Wards, and if you're not casting Serpent Wards to take a tower, really in a game where even you're at parity or even ahead, then you're feeling pretty bad about that. That Serpent Ward did very, very little, and Whitebeard, he can do nothing to stop this. He actually has to be very careful right now because there's still AUY wandering about. He'll spot another target in Whitebeard. Pilot Die right around the corner. This Warlock isn't incredibly useful right now. Riki will go ulti form, do a lot of damage to Fluff actually. Now going to jump out with the help of Fada to crush Fluff. Whitebeard's going to shackle. That's not going to last long. Giving Fada a double. AUY off to the side is not going to get dust anymore. It wears off. And this Clinks just can't find a target to lock down long enough to kill off. They will eventually find Pilot Die as Brax comes in from the north. With the dual win no less, so Brax finally joining the game. But still the tower and the damage has been done. NP get a lot more kills.
Yep, taking a tower too. There's just too much map control being conceded, and then Fire, they're trying to eke out as much farm as they can around the map, but to no avail. At least with, like you said, the kill there on Legion Commander, he's able to get up to his Blink Dagger now. Also has the bonus 10 damage, so they'll have that to work with, but the inherent problems that we discussed during the draft is going to be there. They have a lot of ways to counter-initiate the Legion duel. They have Warlock ulti, they have Cloud, they have Earthshaker, Stun. I mean, you don't even actually want to play Legion Commander in this game. You don't even want to duel. If you duel somebody, you're basically forfeiting your own life every single time. So it's a very rough game to be playing Legion Commander.
A little bit too late for dash repick right now, so he's gonna have to try to make it work, and that means that he has to kind of roll with someone else who usually doesn't want to go with a Legion commander. Clinks can help and probably is the best one to help out a Legion, but when you're a Legion looking for dual wins, you want to take, you know, ideally no one, but if you have to take someone, just a random support here, just add a little more damage into those duels. You don't want to try to mass up cores. It's just too much of an investment for not a sure thing. Jo is going to get jumped up towards top lane now with MSS and Pilot Dot off to the side. The fissure is perfect. Oh my lord, from the Shaker. That'll chop down Whitebeard, and Jo is going to lose all his mana in a hurry. He will lose his life as well. MSS has been absolutely amazing today.
A shining star with a bunch of weeds. Amongst a bunch of weeds. Maybe he's the real boss. The real captain. MSS, the shy,
that'll be the
quiet
true
type.
anime storyline right there. He's gonna find himself fluffing stuff. Blink Fissure, Enchant Totem was
Echo.
already used. Echo into the ground.
Got him.
Oh jeez, he's super dead. Whitebeard also not looking too hot. He's gonna get hit with the Chaotic Offering. Oh my god, that crit from Envy. They do drop the Serpent Wards. Pilot Eye, is he trapped? Looks like he is trapped, albeit barely. Still a kill's a kill, but they're gonna jump to it now with Fada and MSS suddenly surrounding Legion Commander. Take her down. JO's arrived, but this is a Medusa with no relevant damage items. He's shooting, but he's not doing any damage. They'll lose TC. Fada's gonna teleport right in the face of Jo. Can Jo at least kill the Golem? He will. So it's a little bit of cash for the Medusa, but again, for Fire, they lose so much and only get a support Warlock kill. And in the meantime, AUI, he's farming bottom, much like last game.
AUI is just farming bottom lane. That is pretty funny. Where were you, AUI? No, but this is... You can just see this ward kind of coming down. NP, when they play Dota, they always make sure they ward as at the point of where they are fighting, and this extra ward gave them complete vision during this team fight to where they're able to scout out where the enemy is going to be going, where they're retreating and whatnot. So that just sets up their team fights always with this information. Whereas Fire, sure, they were fighting by a tier 1 tower, but they still weren't able to kill off the cores. They only got a Warlock, and it's just the same story every single time. Well, at least they did get a kill on AUI there. But it's the same story. They're only getting these kills on supports right now. They really need to kill these cores. Fada's almost at 8.5k net worth. Creeping up on the 9k. He's gonna have his Radiance, I feel, at any time, and they just can't stop his split push.
They don't have a mobility item on Shadow Shaman. He's not even getting one next. Speaking of Shadow Shaman, well, he's gonna get Hexed out, save himself from a stun. That was actually pretty nice. It's not going to help him at all, of course. Fada, he has another Invis rune. I don't know how he keeps finding these things, but he's going to leash down the Medusa. She does have a TP out. That's really her only chance, but no, it does seem like she's pretty screwed. Hard to TP out when you have no mana, that's for sure. Help from Jo is so far away. In fact, it's getting killed off by Eternal Envy, who showed up in the back to slay Fluff and stuff. He's going to charge in towards Brax, absolutely fearless. He has no mana for Reincarnation. He doesn't give a damn, as Brax will be chopped down by EE. Can't escape the haste Wraith King. It's a triple for Eternal Envy. And for NP, they barely break a sweat there as Fire just get massacred for the upteenth time. Radiance Ember Spirit, I don't even know the last time I've seen this build. We just go Travels Radiance, but I mean, you're so far ahead, he can actually get whatever item he wants. I want to see that Battle Fury build again. It's been a while.
Yeah, Battle Fury would be nice. So you can have rapiers, but EE's not playing it, so there's no way that they can throw.
Radiant structures are fortified.
I think
TC though.
Radiant's top tower is
Maybe.
under attack.
Radiance is a pretty good item here, especially this game. Extra mischance. Fada's playing super greedy for the tower. Could have gotten dueled, but hey man, you gotta maximize your efficiency.
Yep, efficiency definitely. He's MO. That's Relic for the Ember Spirit. That evasion, or mischance rather, will absolutely dumpster fire. They are all pretty much physical right clickers, and as far as affording some way of mitigating that mischance, not gonna happen for a very long time. So good luck hitting things anymore. We can already see they're suffering from severe lack of damage. Missing a single right click, that is something that they cannot afford at this stage. Also, Eternal Envy has a Solar Crest, so you know, double trouble from the evasion standpoint. Ember actually has his completed Radiance, and he's going to look to christen it all over Fluff and Stuff's skull. Fluff and Stuff is wandering around trying to hide, but there's an Observer Ward spotting his every move. And now Fada's gonna see him for sure. TP with the Grave. Maybe Brax is gonna come in. They're trying to bait Fada in a little bit more, but Fada just to get near Fluff and stuff for like half a second or just Sleight of Fist him to get the kill. Whitebeard is arriving with the duel. They do land the Serpent Wards. Does he have a jump out? He doesn't, but he's just fighting back. He's gonna slaughter the Shadow Shaman actually. Fada is just not taking damage. Where's the rest of NP? Is Fada the only one on MP? I think so. He's gonna get a triple on TP right underneath JO. He will go down. That was so close to being the most baller play of all time. He pretty much just killed all of Fire by himself. Actually, no, Clinks died top. Something happened there.
Just another day in the office for NP. Easy work. No sweat, 1v3. Yeah, top lane, the Earthshaker. So Clinks had set up a kill trying to go on the Ricky, something along those lines, and then Earthshaker came in and then completely owned him. Nailed him. But yeah, bottom lane, that was just fun to watch. How do you do a 1v3? Well, you just have Radiance and you have Fada.
Step 1, be Fada. Step 2, don't be not Fada. That's it, man. That's all you gotta do. It's not even like he has a lot of armor or anything like that. It's just the fact that Legion Commander, well, 30 damage stolen is actually not unreasonable for this stage in the game, but Serpent Wards, the fact that Tool, Shackle was used to not chain stun perfectly.
That's close.
Yeah, almost getting hit there by the Wraithfire. Still, all the tier 1s are down. Eternal Envy, much like in last game. This is pretty much just like a rerun of last game. Gonna go straight into the Roche Pit. This time you'll have some help with MSS, and once again have a situation where Fire, they kind of have to make a play. They have to try to catch MP off guard, but they don't have the tools right now. They will smoke into a really aggressive position, which is something that MP may not expect, but the Chaotic Offering is still a threat, and unless the duel goes towards Pylai Die, they're gonna have to deal with that Golem, and if you do duel Pylai Die, then what the hell are you gonna use to kill Fada? You need something on that Ember, and duel's your best bet at it. Fluff and Stuff gonna show himself to Pylai Die off to the north, TC as well. They're going to jump in duel onto the Warlock, take him down without any resistance, but Whitebeard slaughtered in the back, and now the chains onto the Dazzle, forced to Grave himself. He's essentially out of the fight. That means they can focus onto TC. Blink 4 from SS, gonna stun up the Clinks, and with an Echo Slam, they'll burst them down. That's gonna be a 1 for 3. The fact that Fire got that initiation off, it looked like it was almost the best case scenario for them, but at the end of the day, it is still gonna be NP with a resounding victory, and Aegis still in the hands of Fada.
You could see that Fire have the right ideas to approach team fights where they know they have to go on the back lines and kill Warlock or Earthshaker. You know, Brax be dead here potentially. Yeah. So you can just see just how well Fire understands, but they don't really pick themselves into a great position. Like, they don't have any heroes to scout besides the Clinks, and then you also have, well, this is gonna be funny to watch if they want to go 1v5 EE top, but no, nothing gonna happen. And then they try to go on the back lines, but they don't, like we talked about, they just don't have the proper initiation. You saw that Legion can go in there and duel, but
oh no, Fluff.
Yeah.
Not like this. Wraithfire Blast. What damage over time effect is gonna kill off Fluff and Stuff? Looks like Fada will claim another one. 7 to 31. This tower is forfeit. There is a Chaotic Offering in the back pocket of NP. It doesn't seem like they really need the Warlock to do that. Warlock at this point is like a distraction hero, right? Just go for the Warlock because you're scared of the Chaotic Offering, but then get you baited because you shouldn't have gone for the Warlock. You should have gone for someone else. This tower is...
Fire needs 2 like initiators in this game, or ways to disengage, I want to say, because the way that they take a fight is if they kill off the Earthshaker and the Warlock ulti doesn't get off, or they somehow disable the Earthshaker, kill off the Warlock, and they get them. But because this game is so out of hand, there's just so many other variables that are in play. Dire Courier has been killed.
UI ends up losing the Courier, is going to turn around and purge the Clinks. That's why the Courier was out there in the first place, to get that Ricky, that Diffusal Blade. But in the meantime, you know, more relevant things are happening up towards top lane as Jo does have a Hurricane Pike. That's not going to help him there because it's an Ember Spirit, and they actually have found Eternal Envy. They need to kill him off once before the backup arrives. Not going to happen. Smokescreen in the back line is going to hit onto 3 heroes. That should kill off Fluff, and it will. Now the Chaotic Offering is going to drop. TC and Whitebeard going to separate. Whitebeard running up to the north. Don't know if I like his chances, as TC will get slaughtered by Fada, who's going to go in deep for Brax. He has no mana, actually, but he does have some backup. Shaker coming out of nowhere. Chains, still not enough mana for it. Echo Slam will do some damage. Need a little more mana for the chains. Just outside the fountain. Brax will purge him off, and he will survive. Not diving the fountain. Come on, guys. They're going to, go past the tier 2. That's still up. And get a 4 for nil. So it's still pretty good for NP. It's above average.
7 to 35, 25 minutes in. We got 10 more kills right now going on for NP in the actual time. Not bad, not bad. Chances
I guess NP don't really push structures. NP aren't really good at killing towers, so I guess Fire have that going for them, but they're really good at killing JOs. They've practiced a lot in this game, and well, JO this time will get over the fissure. Fada still not fully confident going in, so JO will survive, but he's farming under his tier 3. He shouldn't be in those situations where he's struggling to survive. He has very low HP, but I mean, they don't really care. They know that NP, if they see anyone presenting themselves off the map, they are a target, a very easy target at that.
Never refuse to be forgiven.
It's kind of interesting the way that Fire kind of picked themselves into a corner where they still didn't have an answer to the split push this game of the Ember Spirit. They thought maybe they could catch him out with Legion and Clinks or something, but that was very wishful thinking, and pretty much Fada just took over this game from 5 minutes and never looked back. And then now they're in this position where
man's up on JO, straight blinks into the base. Just give him a Wraith Fire Blast, and also it would be Whitebeard who's somehow in the front. He'll get picked off instead. I mean, if you're presenting yourself on the map, you're a target. TC has the right idea.
This
is how you stay alive.
Respawn fast. He's fine. Just food. Make them stronger so that when you kill them, you're gonna get money back. It's called investment.
Calculated. Oh man, Fada's gonna drop Fluff and Stuff almost 100-0 with that small jump in. JO's gonna deploy his ultimate. That's one of Fire's biggest defensive tools, that Stone Gaze. And now NP know they are just fine to go in if they want to, but they'll instead decide to call it quits and retreat. NP, they have the run of the map right now. They really don't have much to fear. What is working out well on Fire?
That's why they have to kind of go back. That's the problem when you run this Earthshaker or strength treads, or just power treads in general. You just lack a lot of mana. Nobody on the Dire set has arcane boots besides Firelight Die. He just picked them up, so you can't even fault me for saying they don't have any arcane boots. So they suffer from mana issues at sometimes, especially with this Earthshaker, but it does allow you to right click a lot faster, and for more, it gives you more right click potential during the team fights. But at the end of the day, it causes you to need more arcane boots or need more shrine usage. Meanwhile, Envy, Hunting, Invisible.
Like the 5th Invis rune for NP. It's starting to get ridiculous. They'll find JO this time without Legion Commander right next to her to press the attack off, and now JO caught in the chains. They'll take down Whitebeard first just because. That's going to be a free 2 for MSS. Blinking into the base. Again, they don't give a damn. They're going to go in all the way. Smokescreen underneath the tier 4s. And it should be Radiance. Yeah, Radiance to get it. Wraithfire Blast missed, unfortunately, for Envy. Tried to snag that one. JO forced to buy out, but oh man, Envy wants to pick the fight underneath the tier 4s. Come at me, bro. He has Plate Mail, he has Armlet, he has Solar Crest. Physical damage, not the way you would want to kill the Wraith King, but it's not like Fire have much of an alternative here. He'll walk out, easy peasy, still with that double life. Like, they're casually going into the Ancient and killing heroes, and Fire are not getting anything in response.
Yeah, this is just like brutal to watch. I mean, this is just like picking on a little kid when you're a grown-up. Even a baby stealing candy from it. I don't even know how else to describe it. They're just not breaking right now, Fire. I do commend their spirit for at least not tapping out, but they're confined to their side of the map. They're confined to their in their base, and as you saw, if JO just goes outside the base, farms one creep.
Oh, MSS. Echo Slam. Oh, jeez. Clinks lost legitimately half his HP from one enchant totem hit. Oh, and Fada's gonna blink over Fluff, just I thought he was gonna let him live because, you know, he suddenly grew conscious, but I guess not. We're gonna kill off Fluff and Stuff for the 12th time. Gonna go down this Dazzle. Like, I don't know if this is a game that NP are gonna win by pushing. I think this is a demoralization into a GG game.
That's the funny part. You just go into their fountain and you don't even go for barracks. That's what they're gonna do. Just wait. They'll get one barracks and then they're just gonna corral them all into the fountain.
Going to land a fissure. Force Staff Jo back in a little bit closer to Eternal Envy. He still has that pike to get a little bit of distance away. In the meantime, Ember Spirit distracting the back lines as AY gonna jump in. Stealth Assassin living up to his name. They'll kill off Fluff and Whitebeard soon after. JO's ultimate is gonna go off. Whitebeard's still alive. No, gets punched by a golem. That feels pretty bad. Eternal Envy now back in. Onto the Medusa. Fada still in the mix in the middle. Brack's gonna jump in, try to go for a duel, but ends up giving Pili Die damage. Carry Warlock incoming. And still Fire remain in this game. 27k deficit. Well, momentum, map control, any conceivable metric you could possibly think of, it's in favor of NP. Where is Jo going? Sliding all around. But it doesn't matter. GG has been called, and 7-45. NP definitely showing us that they do have the stuff.
That was a really weird last pick to do so. That's all I'm gonna say. If they had maybe gone around the Juggernaut, they could have at least grouped up and pushed a little bit more. Jug can also rotate. Can do effective rotations, can help out your team, have healing ward. Also there's Storm Spirit to work with, who does really well against Ember, and especially can